Hi y'all, we're doing a new project. So this is a pretty big chunk of missing veneer on the front door of my buffet. So I grabbed my Dixie mud, I always keep it in the fridge, and I used my putty knife and I'm going to just put a layer on. I'm going to fill in that crack, and I actually ended up doing 2 times of this. So I did it once, I let it dry, sanded it. It still had a divot because if it's a pretty big crevice, you need to do it in stages, because if you try to fill it all at once, it'll just crack. So I did that. I waited, I let it dry. I sanded it off, which I will show you in a minute. I realized here that I hadn't sanded it off, nor had I filmed it, so I will do that in a second. So I'm going to throw down a coat of paint. I am using Dixie Belle's Gravel Road. I wasn't sure in which direction I was going to go with this piece. I know that I want to sand the drawers into natural wood, and here I am realizing that that whole entire what is that, headstone shape thing was a piece of veneer on top of another piece of veneer, and it was actually peeling away. So I stopped because I ended up taking the door off, gluing it, clamping it so that it would stay. So sometimes, I mean, this piece is probably 80, 90, 100 years old, so it is old. It is not like it's, you know, a new piece of furniture, so they do have to have repairs at time, but once they're repaired, they'll last for another 100 years. So I'm just putting a quick coat down of Dixie Belle's Gravel Road, which is my favorite go-to gray. So I grabbed some DIY paint. Now, I haven't used DIY to do a blend in a hot minute, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I wasn't sure, not even a little bit. I know that I love the color Prairie Gray, and I have a buffet at home, and it kind of made me think about the buffet I have at home, how I really love the color combo, and I used a Prairie Gray with it. Prairie Gray is the dark brown gray. That right now is Sandy Blonde, which was a little too tan. So I didn't really use a lot of it, and then the kind of color in the middle right here is called Faded Burlap. The thing about DIY paint, it is not self-sealing, so you have to seal it. You can reactivate it quite easily with water. So with this piece, I had painted this door, and the next day I came back and I sprayed it, and the paint just reactivated. So if you do not seal it, in 6 months from now, you can spray it with water and the paint will just move around. It's kind of a strange paint, but once sealed, it's hard as a rock. So don't ask me how that works. I'm not really sure. I wasn't really liking the look of this door. It's not what I wanted. And this is why I didn't cut this out, because I want to show you guys that even me, or myself, I don't always like what I do. I'm like, so I grabbed some black. It was Dixie Belle's Caviar. And I was like, okay, I want these to be darker. It wasn't really what I wanted either. I'm going to do the whole segment with adding the black. And basically a little tiny bit of black. You will notice that I'm not dipping my paintbrush back in the paint. I am just using the paint that's on it. I'm using water, and I'm moving the paint around. That's how you get the best blend. I'm using my 040 Klingon and a little bit of water, because DIY paint is pretty thick. Even though it's not hot out right now, this is October, it's a thicker paint, so I almost always have to use water. So a lot of times paint almost with the water, letting it reactivate the paint that I put down, and so I can move it around. Now the black wasn't doing it for me either. I sat back, I was like, what do I do? So I got up and I grabbed Dixie Belle's Coffee Bean, because DIY really doesn't have a pretty dark brown. And then it hit me, because the Prairie Gray has an undertone of brown and the Coffee Bean is an espresso brown. So suddenly it was like, bam. Okay, now I grab the brown and I'm like, okay, this is more like it. So then I put it all over the door. So I've painted this door with a bunch of different colors. What I always tell you guys, if you don't like it, do it again. The only thing that is hard to master with DIY paint is the fact that it fades like 3 shades when it dries. And even for me, it is hard to figure out what it's going to look like when you wax it. Now this door is going to be darker than the other door. And I haven't finished everything. I've waxed it, I've sealed it, I put the handles on. I'm wondering if I should go back next week and take the handle off and lighten up this door so it matches better. I need to sit back and look at it from far away. They don't have to be exact, but they have to really coordinate because people will pick that apart. If it was going in my house, I wouldn't care. But then I'm like, is it a bit too dark? Did I add a little more of the faded burlap on the left-hand side and not on the right-hand side? So, because when this dries, it looks totally different. And I think I definitely should have made the middle brighter. But with this damn paint, when it dries, they both kind of look the same. And I thought, okay, they look good. Yeah, well, not really. So the dark brown is really helping to accentuate this. The thing I really like about DIY paint is when it's all dry and I take a piece of sandpaper, like a piece of 220, and I sand down, what happens is all those layers, the paint just kind of like, it just is a big dust bowl when it comes off. It's like sanding dirt. Does that make sense? Like if I were to take sandpaper out onto a mud puddle that dried up and I mushed it around and that's like all that dust, it's not, Dixie Belle doesn't do that. DIY has so much clay in it that it's like sanding pottery, I guess, not dirt. So it gives you the layers and it gives it this cool like muddled, and then I sand down to the wood. It's just freaking fabulous. I do really love this paint, but I will tell you, it is hard to maneuver and figure out. Now I filled this in again. I grabbed a piece of 150, which I should have grabbed a piece of 220. It was too rough. I don't want to sand the groove out. I just want to smooth it out. And I was like, duh, I grabbed the wrong piece. So I went ahead and grabbed a piece of 220, and that's really what I needed. So basically, you're just going to sand over where you've put the Dixie mud lightly, and it's just going to now, I put the Dixie mud on twice. It is now going to be flush. You won't even be able to tell once I paint that there was ever a crack. Can you tell? Nope. And once you do the distressing and all the things, if it's not perfect, nobody will be able to tell. So this is where I get to sanding. So I'm going to take a piece of 150 and a piece of 220. So right now I've got the 220 in my hand because I'm going to sand the entire door. What I do that for, if you guys have ever been into the shop, you know that when you touch my furniture, it is smooth as silk. So I take a piece of 220. I don't go in one direction. I don't go with the grain. There doesn't matter because it's painted. Then and I smooth it all out. Then I'm take a piece of 150, and that's my ripping sandpaper. I am going to go on those little lines using my fingernail and really push so that I have raw wood exposed. That's the beauty about doing vintage. And see that little implement right there? I'm going to kind of sand it off. And what it's going to do, it's going to create layers down to the wood. It's going to go from the hurricane gray to the faded burlap to that sandy blonde to the prairie gray and all the colors and the coffee bean that I put on there. And it's really going to show them when you wax. Right now you can't really tell what it looks like. It doesn't even look like I blended because it faded so much. So I'm going to just sand the reveals. I don't ever sand like in the middle of a big flat spot. I only sand on the edges, the corners, and like where that, I don't know what else to call it, tombstone thing is. And what it does is it, when waxed, will add so much color. Now, this one's on the left-hand side. I left it in here just so you could see. I did not go and use the black this time. I just went ahead and used prairie gray, and it's not going to really matter. It's not going to not match. It'll just give it some dimension. I went ahead prairie gray first, and then I'm using coffee bean to kind of highlight, and then I'm using the faded burlap in the middle, and just sometimes a touch of that sandy blonde, which is that tan color. A little bit of water, and what does it do? Water moves everything with this paint. I am not dipping my brush again. Well, I just did. Dark brown. And then I will just use the water to help, and my brush to help move everything around. I play a lot with my brush. I do a lot of strokes back and forth, up and down, to make my blend not appear as if it has lines. The whole purpose behind blending is to make one color disappear into the next and make it seamless. Okay, that's why we blend. We make a blend by seamlessly taking one color into the next and adding water to help those all move. They all move. We want to get rid of the lines. Do you see how that line that was just up there on the top, it just disappears? And that doesn't mean more paint. That just means taking that brush and moving it. I'm using the same brush. I'm not changing the brush to get light colors or dark colors. It is one brush, and it is fabulous. If for some reason I wanted to get more light in the middle, I would just barely dip the corners of my brush into the paint to add more. If I wanted dark, I would do the same thing. And I would use that amazing brush that is so good and so worth the money, the Klingon 040, and I would just keep manipulating it and just using it until I got the blend that I wanted. Water, little dots of paint, because I already have a great base coat. So the second coat goes on pretty well. That's why I don't blend two coats. I like to put a base coat on first. It's so much easier. And then just go over the top. I'm adding a little bit of a darker at the coffee bean because I'm like, Now watch how that line disappears by using the brush. You see it's there? Now it's not. The brush, that is damp from the water. And just moving the paint, moving the paint, moving the paint. No dips in water, just moving the paint. So, crazy how that works. Now, if you look at it when they're dry, they pretty much look the same. Well, until you waxed them. Now, I had already started before I filmed. So, DIY wax is an oil-based wax. It is the only wax that I would use with DIY paint. Yes, I use a little bit of Dixie Belle too, but if I use DIY paint, believe me, I'm going to use that DIY wax. It's super creamy oily. I don't like it over Dixie Belle paint. It's not as porous. Clay paint is so porous. It's just like the dirt, right? It's going to soak it up. You have to be very fluid with your waxing too, because if you dip your wax in and then you just stick it on there, so say you stick it on and don't move your brush around quickly or fluidly, you'll have streaks to where you put it. So I like to buff it off, and then with a microfiber, and then buff it off. I have an amazing buffing brush. For those of you that are old like me, my dad was in the military. I used to shine his shoes with one of these kind of brushes. That's what it reminds me of. It is smooth as silk. So smooth. I will come back. This is with wax. That is without wax. Now, this one dried a little bit lighter as the wax kind of absorbed, but I still think it needs to be a little bit whiter. So the legs, I had painted them in the gravel road. Didn't look good. So since I had used the coffee bean, I decided to paint the whole entire bottom with coffee bean, and it was stunning. Now I have my Festool sander, which is my life. I have a piece of 100 grit sandpaper. Now just remember that I am using a orbital sander. With an orbital sander, you do not have to go with the grain. The sander does it for you. So I can go up and down, back and forth, around in circles. And it just does great. Then I'm going to put one coat of DIY's Dark and Decrepit, which is the most phenomenal dark wood stain ever. Dixie Belle does not have this color. It's like a dark espresso brown without black. Dixie Belle's dark brown stain is Black Magic, and it's way darker, like a what would be the difference? This is more rich. That the Black Magic to me is more, I don't know. It's not black, but it's dark, but it's not this rich brown. This is my go-to when I need a dark brown finish. Remember to overlap. I'm using the Dixie Belle Blue Sponge. Overlap your lines so that you do not get streaks, and let this seriously set overnight. Here we go. That's what she looks like. She pretty.